Have some humility, clean up your bedroom, take care of your family, follow your conscience, straighten up your life, find something productive and interesting to do and commit to it. When you can do all that, find a bigger problem and try to solve that if you dare. This is a video about the latest Jordan Peterson book, Beyond Order, subtitled 12 More Rules for Life. In this video, I'll share some key points from the book, and because I have tested it, I've not only read it, I've put it to use and tried it out in the world, and it has actually changed my life, and I will share in this video also how. Please remember to subscribe to Manifesto to be notified not only about content like this, but also about really in-depth interviews and podcasts and all of the other quality stuff that comes from that channel. So that's out of the way, let's dive in. This is not a self-help book, I think, although it can be self-helpful. It's a philosophical work. It deals with the fundamental existential questions of being human and finding meaning. The beginning half of this book is very much about assuming responsibility and facing challenges voluntarily and how to begin doing that. And I want to kick this off with a quote. What is the antidote to the suffering and malevolence of life? The highest possible goal. What is the prerequisite to pursuit of highest possible goal? Willingness to adopt the maximum degree of responsibility. And this includes the responsibilities that others disregard or neglect. You might object, why should I shoulder all that burden? It's nothing but sacrifice, hardship, and trouble. But what makes you so sure that you do not want something heavy to carry? You positively need to be occupied with something weighty, deep, profound, and difficult. Then, when you wake up in the middle of the night and the doubts crowd in, you have some defense. You can attain some genuine self-respect that way. Boom. This quote was from the fourth rule. Notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. But I want to take it back a bit and begin with the first chapter. So the first one reads, do not carelessly denigrate social institutions or creative achievement. What I latched onto was the value and necessity of sharing our inner lives with other people. So the way that I use this is that I read this chapter while I was in the middle of big personal changes. I was ending a major relationship, and that made everything different. But what I decided to do different, because I was reading this chapter, was very intentionally to start sharing about the process I was in every day. So I did that. I already speak to men from my men's group every day, but I started with clear intention to share what is the process that I'm in, what's happening. And as a consequence, I found and I was astounded that I just kept on moving. And I did not allow myself to stagnate somewhere. Emotions came up and down. Things happened, not only emotionally, all things started moving and shifting around me. But I had that anchor in the awareness that I need to keep on sharing it. And in that way, sort of calibrate myself better with my social surroundings, with the outside world. Because one of the things that we really has to do with goals and responsibility, and especially in the first half of the book, you know, he has this short, sweet quote that reads, it appears that the meaning that most efficiently sustains life is to be found in the adoption of responsibility. And not only, and how to do that, how to go about that and adopt responsibility, he is with us all the way, you know, through clearly defined goals. So we single point our focus to something, and then we just start doing it, and we keep doing it. And we become better, we become more competent, and we can we can deal with the small issues at first. And then once we have cleaned our room to begin with, then we can move up from there and start dealing with more complex issues. Again, if you aim at nothing, you become plagued by everything. And this is sort of the way into the positive idea of hierarchy. Have some humility, clean up your bedroom, Take care of your family, follow your conscience, straighten up your life, find something productive and interesting to do and commit to it. When you can do all that, find a bigger problem and try to solve that if you dare. Refreshing, yes, and liberating, actually. So this is where structure becomes liberating, because many of us, and I have felt this, are in this world of infinite opportunity where we have to be the best that we can be, and we can essentially be everything because we're all God, and that is very overwhelming. And I think I have longed to find a place in some hierarchy. I want to be a beginner because I feel, whoa, there's something here I don't trust. There are some places where meaning gets lost for me. He talks about why we need to be students, why we need to start from the bottom. He talks about apprenticeship and mentorship. And it is so healthy to step away from that idea that we need to have everything figured out. And that's a very loving message. Of course, the hell in this is nihilism. And nihilism is this word that Peterson brings up a lot. But I agree, that's scary. You know, some of the scariest moments are when meaning disappears. And in this book, I have tools to keep meaning there. And this can sort of lead me into the second big personal lesson from this, which we can headline this martial arts of emotions. And this is, I think, it's a brilliant way to get specifically men again to deal with their emotions, because he's so rational. And that's it. You know, if you follow the steps here in his arguments, you see that it is fundamentally illogical to not do good things. And that personal development, in essence, is fueled by courage, and through that courage, honesty and willingness to face the darkness. So, means of tackling these inner strong forces that we have and dealing with them so they don't have negative expressions. And that is love. Again, I see that as love for humanity. And it is a good way to explain it to men as well. You know, if you put too much shit in your closet, it's going to spring open when you're unprepared, and it's going to bury you. And as a way into this, he uses the language of emotions to give some really solid advice. If you ever encounter someone who is malevolent, they have control over you in precise proportion to the extent that you are unwilling or unable to understand them. And again, with these explanations that are rational, I think Peterson, and especially for young men, I imagine here, because I feel that myself, that when there is a tangible, logical explanation for why we should do good in the world, that is a help. That is helpful. And so the way to actually do something about this, the way to let these messages not only make sense, but also seep into life. There are two things to this. Maybe the first thing is extracting the wisdom, and that means the discipline of getting through the book, because that is an element. You know, this book is not always, to me, it wasn't always interesting. In some places, it was dry. This is written to inform, to enlighten, to enhance people's lives by providing tools and framework for how to live a good life. The second thing, that reaches back to that first rule where I talked about the necessity to bounce things, our inner life, reflect that off other people. I think it is through community which is a major point in this book. Peterson, he values community very, very highly. That is what brings us to life. This book hits home with me because there is profound wisdom there, and because Peterson provides solid ways of finding meaning in life. So Peterson, maybe he's not meant to be the only voice there. You know, he is that perhaps fatherly voice, getting that, you know, the direction and finding meaning through purpose. Those lessons that takes some discipline to utilize. And I get those lessons because those lessons teach sturdiness to stand through the storms of life. We have all felt suffering. Even in my limited life experience, I have felt enough suffering, I think, to know that I don't want to drift without direction, without meaning. So when Peterson offers me tools how to do that, then I embrace them. So Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life has a lot of good stuff in it. And it may be tough to get through, it may be dry in spots, but if strengthening my back and finding discipline to read it, and then using it in the world, testing it out in the real world. That brought it to life for me. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and comment if you read the book and what you think about it, and subscribe to the Manifesto channel as well. My name is Eskil. Have a good day. Bye.